this evening. We have a panel of distinguished medical professionals who are going to give you an overview of the science of ASEA Redox. They will discuss how you can incorporate this proven technology into your practice, improving patient outcomes, increasing profitability, and creating residual income. We have Dr. Dick Walker from Spokane, Washington, a physician of 38 years who specializes in internal medicine and emergency medicine. In addition to his successful medical career, he has been an extremely successful entrepreneur for many years. In the prime of his life, he was an avid mountaineer and expedition doctor to several of the world's tallest mountains, including Mount Everest, and also remote locations such as Antarctica as an expedition physician. He is recognized internationally for all his accomplishments, and he is a triple diamond in ASEA. Also with us this evening is Dr. Foster Malmed from New York. He has been a doctor of chiropractic and a certified applied kinesiologist for over 33 years. One of his crowning achievements was to work as the chiropractor at Putnam Hospital Center in Carmel, New York, where he integrated the use of redox signaling products into his practice. Dr. Malmed is also an accomplished educator, and he was the director of education for the National Orthotics Manufacturing Lab. He is now in private practice at a wellness and rehab center and is on ASEA's Medical Professionals Board. He is a triple diamond in ASEA. Joining us as well is Dr. Joseph Porecco from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He has been in chiropractic practice for 33 years. He is certified in functional medicine and is board eligible in chiropractic neurology. He has been a successful entrepreneur for many years and is new to ASEA, using it personally and in his practice for about a month. He believes that every healthcare professional deserves to learn about this product and this company. Lastly, rounding out our panel this evening is Dr. Yani Feliciano, a doctor of chiropractic for over 30 years from Orange County, California. Dr. Feliciano has been using ASEA personally and in her practice for several months now, and has seen some amazing results with her patients. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Dick Walker to start the discussion.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this, I think, what's going to turn out to be a very educational half an hour for those of you who have tuned in. I've been involved with ASEA for over 6 years. I've been taking the product for that period of time. When I was first introduced to this, the whole idea of redox signaling and using it for the benefit of human health was really a very new idea. And in fact, the whole science of redox signaling is a new but rapidly evolving science. This product, however, is proven, clinically proven, scientifically proven. It's entirely safe, and we are seeing just some amazing results with this. Many times, people who have conditions that just are not responding to anything that I can do as an MD or you can do as a chiropractor or nutritionist just is not really giving people the benefits and the results that they need and that they're looking for. And when we start them on a redox signaling supplement that we have here at ASEA, things start to turn around pretty quickly. Oftentimes, it'll take a couple of weeks to a couple of months to really appreciate the true benefits of what are going on here. But the nice thing is that while you're waiting, it's working and it's helping your body to repair damage at the cellular level. And that's really what ASEA does. The active ingredient molecules in ASEA are tiny little molecules that our cells produce and use for signaling. They use these molecules as a communication device and network so that their cells can communicate within and in between, and really they're responsible for orchestrating, organizing pretty much everything that happens in our body at the cellular level. And that's really where all the action is when it comes to repairing and overcoming all kinds of things, whether it's an injury or whether it's a disease process. Our body is quite capable of doing some amazing repair work as long as we provide the right inputs so that the body can do that at the cellular level. And we used to think that was primarily nutritional things like vitamins and minerals and enzymes and cofactors. But more recently, we've realized that a big missing piece was these redox signaling molecules. Every cell in our body makes them, but as we age, they make fewer and fewer of them, but also a number of disease states, a number of things that can happen to affect our health in a negative way are responsible for causing problems in the signaling area. And by providing an external source of these molecules, our body is capable then of getting back into repair mode and doing a very efficacious and incredible job at overcoming some really nasty health issues. You know, I've noticed a number of things with my health over the years. That will be a seminar at a different time, but one of the most important things was that I started this product when I was 64 and a half or so, in reasonably good health, but I had had some pretty significant problems with hypertension for years, and I was on 4 different medications to control that. In fact, I was on maximum doses of those 4 medicines, and I didn't really think that ASEA was going to make a huge difference there. But without changing anything else in my routine, I didn't change my diet. I've always exercised. I didn't really make any other major changes, except I started drinking 8 ounces of ASEA a day. And a little over 4 years later, I was off of all of those blood pressure medicines. And about that same time, a study came out that ASEA did that found out that one of the things that supplementing with redox signaling molecules does is to improve the elasticity of our blood vessels. So I'm thinking that that could be a major reason, or at least one of the reasons why I no longer take any of that high blood pressure medicine. But there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of experiences that people have had. And I would really urge you to fully investigate this and really give this some really solid consideration as a modality that you would introduce into your practice, because you can help, you could literally help everybody that you see in the office, but you might want to start with the problematic people who are patients who are just not improving, and you're just really wanting to help them. And ASEA is likely going to be an answer for those problems. So I'd like to turn this, I'm a physician, I'm an MD, and I think that as a group of chiropractors, you will no doubt want to hear from one of your own, from Dr. Foster Malmed is a very distinguished chiropractor. We've become pretty close friends in ASEA, and I would just love for Foster, for you to share your experience. You've been using and working with ASEA for about the same amount of time as we have, maybe a little bit longer, and I'd love for you to share your wisdom and your insights about what a chiropractor could do with this and why they should consider using this in their practice.
Thank you so much, Dick, and a beautiful, eloquent description of the science, which has become our life. Thanks so much, just beautiful, and thanks so much for inviting me here. I just happen to be one of the pioneers. I'm sort of like the B.J. Palmer of ASEA. I was one of the first chiropractors to see what this stuff was purely by luck. I was invited to take a look at ASEA by a friend from California, 3,000 miles away. And he said something that grabbed my interest right away. He said that I should look at this product. He didn't understand it at all. He was actually a professional network marketer, and I was not. And he said, I have this product that will increase VO2 max by 10 to 12% in 14 days with no side effects. And I knew 2 things. I knew that was impossible. I knew blood doping, steroids, none of that would do that. And I also knew that he was reading that from someplace, because there's no way that network marketer knew what he was talking about. He didn't know what VO2 max was. So that caught my interest, if something could actually do that. That would be important. My wife, Terry, is a personal trainer, and was very active at the time. But what Joe from California didn't know was that my wife was really ill, and she had been in bed a lot, very uncomfortable, lethargic, no answers, no help, lots of doctors, and that had been going on for 6 years. And so this was, we're now into our 9th year of being involved with this company. And I got this product to see if it would help my wife's VO2 max, help her cardiovascular system, and maybe she would be able to do a little bit more in the gym. She was really challenged. I was pretty good at the time. I was 53, and I was in pretty good health with pretty horrible genetics, but I wasn't interested in myself. And so my wife started drinking this product, and on day 3, I was sitting right there, and she was on that landing, and she said, "Something's going on, nothing hurts." And I said, "That's awesome. I'm going to work. I'll see you later. Glad you're having a good day." So at the time, I was the first and only chiropractor at a very conservative New York hospital. Took me 27 years to get in there as a chiropractor. That was my dream. And I had been there for just about 6 months. And I came home at the end of the day, and my wife was cooking, and she was cleaning, and that was weird. And a couple of days later, she said, "You know, I'm still feeling amazing, and I'm feeling better than I did 2 days ago, and I think it's that stuff." And I said, "Don't be ridiculous. A saltwater-based network marketing athletic product is not giving you a new immune system." And she said, "Okay, I'm going to keep drinking it." So she kept drinking it. I kept drinking it. And on the 8th day, I was in my office in the hospital. It was a Saturday morning, and a patient said, "The ragweed is off the charts." And I went, "Nope, it's fine." And they said, "No, look at your laptop right over there." And I did, and it was off the charts, but I was fine, and that didn't make any sense. And then usually around 11 a.m. every day, I would take my proton pump inhibitor, because everybody in my family had the same idiopathic gastritis doctors. And I felt awesome. And so I didn't take it. I didn't need it. And then about an hour later, my office manager said, "Oh, I need to call so-and-so." And I said, "Oh, their phone number is," and I told her the number. She said, "Why do you know that?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't called them in 6 months." And I took note, and I called my wife, and I said, "I don't know what's going on, but something's really weird. My stomach's great. My seasonal issues are great. My brain is on fire. I'm remembering things I have no right remembering, and I'll be home in a little bit." So when I came home, I told my wife, "I have so much energy. I don't know what's going on with me." And she said, "Now, will you look at that stuff?" I said, "Okay, but that stuff is an athletic product that's saltwater based in its network marketing. That didn't give me a new brain, a new stomach, and a new immune system." And then I started to read a book. And the book was by the atomic medical physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, who led the team to stabilize this product. And the person who invited you here will tell you that story, because it's amazing about getting this stabilized. And as I started to read his book called The Science of Healing Revealed, I got halfway through, and that book was the things I hated: cell physiology, biochemistry. I just wanted to adjust and learn how to use x-rays and diagnose in school. I hated those subjects. I got halfway through the book and said, "Honey, this is why you're better. This is why I'm better, and this is going to change the world." So I learned more about the product. I went to the launch of the company a couple of weeks later, saw people crying on each other, saw people laughing and hugging, talking about that we were all pioneers. I am a very, very skeptical New York chiropractor in a hospital, my career on the line, and I came back and I said, I am going to bring this stuff into the hospital, where they did not throw me a parade when I got there in the first place. I was maligned a lot, and it was not a pretty place for a while until people got to know me and know that I was able to integrate well. But now I was going to bring in this saltwater-based network marketing product into a hospital. But I knew I had the science and the millions of dollars of studies to back it up. So in the first week that I started using it in the hospital, I put 5 of my patients on the product, and they all had the same thing as my wife. Nobody knew what it was. They just knew that they couldn't help her, and they threw lots of meds at them. So I was palliative care, essentially. I helped keep them going. We knew each other for a long time. I put them all on the product, and they all had the same result. 2 of them in 3 days, 1 in 6 weeks, and 2 in 3 months. And when I saw that, I knew I had something that had to start sharing. Now, you all have a patient that you could think of right now that you love. Tom was my patient that I loved. Charismatic, funny, walked into the office, everybody lit up. He was hilarious. He was wonderful. He came into my office after I learned that this stuff was important for the immune system, and he looked ashen and sad and gray. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Come on back." So I brought him in the back, and he said, "I just got diagnosed with something that's going to take me away from you in about 5 weeks, but it's been an amazing run." So he told me what was going on. We cried on each other, and I said, "I have this stuff, and I know that it helps the immune system, and let's get you on it, and that surgery that they're going to do on you in 5 weeks, maybe you'll actually survive it, and we'll be able to see you after that surgery." So we put him on the product, not expecting much, and he had a final CT scan a couple of days before he was going to Mount Sinai for his big surgery to cut out what couldn't be there anymore or he would perish. And the doctor upstairs from me said, "What are you doing?" And he used a lot of profanity. He's a New York doctor. And my patient said, "Why?" And he said, "Why is this thing getting smaller?" And my patient said, "The magic water from the chiropractor downstairs." And he said, "I don't know what you're talking about, but we're not doing that surgery this week. As a matter of fact, this has improved so nicely. You're coming back in 3 months and we'll do another CT scan." That was 8 years ago, and he's still fine. And that's how I saw the power of this product. So once I saw that, and I saw other things happening, medical doctors were sending in their patients with sugar issues, with seasonal issues, with musculoskeletal issues. And we use this product, and as Dr. Walker was talking about, anything that you see, it's cellular. This helps all cells to repair themselves and replace themselves the way they're designed. So we have the potential to help everyone. So when I saw that, I now wanted to help everyone. I felt it was a moral imperative. I knew about it, they didn't know about it, and I needed to tell everyone. But I'm a busy guy, so I needed to get the message to people in a very quick way in my chiropractic office. So what I did was I built a tower of boxes. Picture it, 4 boxes, 3, 2, and 1. And as I had patients walk by that room, they would say, "What's that pile of stuff?" And I said, "Oh, that's the greatest health and wellness and anti-aging product in history. And no, it's not a pyramid." So they would say, "How do I find out about that?" And I didn't have time to explain mitochondria and glutathione and superoxide dismutase and cellular messaging. And I said, "On the way out, we'll make sure that Linda gives you information, and then we'll talk about it the next time." So it was important for me to be able to integrate this in my practice in a way that was simple for me. So we just decided what tool we would share. You'll have this video, you'll have all sorts of videos. It's very simple to share. We would send them home by just taking their email address. We'd send them a short video. We'd send them some science information because I, after all, was their doctor. And then the next time they would come in, they would want questions answered, and I'd have an FAQ document all ready for them and let them know that I would like them on this product. So as chiropractors, we don't heal anything. We realign the structures, and then we allow the body to do its job, to heal itself. I'm a Palmer graduate. We called it innate intelligence. I think the innate intelligence is actually redox signaling molecules because they know what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, when and where. So what I would do is I would buy cases in large professional packs. Now we can buy them for 14 cases at a time. We can get them for about $92 to $97 a case, and then you can sell it in your office. We retail them at $160 a case. Preferred customers can get it for cheaper for the same price as associates. That's about $142 a case shipped. And that's how you start this business of improving people's immune systems in ways that you've never seen before. So as Dr. Dick Walker was talking about before, this is the answer. So when we adjust patients, We are hoping that we get the job done properly, that we remove nerve interference, and we improve them well enough so that now their body will heal itself. What does healing itself mean? That means that the cells must now communicate. They must now repair themselves and replace themselves. When a patient comes in with a shoulder injury, those are shoulder muscle ligament, tendon cells that aren't repairing properly. So when we remove nerve interference, that's going to help them a ton. But then when we add ASEA, that improves the labor of the cell and the cellular communication network so that cellular repairs and replacements can be effected. And we can help every one of our patients. And the most simple way to do it, we concentrated this drink into a gel. You rub this gel on your patient. If they come in with a neck issue, shoulder issue, anywhere, this is concentrated. It improves circulation by 49% in 15 minutes. You want something to heal, you want more oxygen and nutrients, and you want metabolic wastes and toxins to be taken away. You rub this on 3 times in 5 minutes, and 90-ish% of the time, they are going to notice a significant improvement. And you can let them know that we want to use this topically. It's amazing cosmetically, but as chiropractors, that's not our world unless we want to look better for our patients. But when you drink this, it does the same thing to your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys. And now you're detoxifying, and now your patients are able to have their bodies heal themselves. You add chiropractic with cellular health, and you have a magical combination. My dream for the last 8+ years was to be able to be here to teach armies of chiropractors how it is that we can help patients in ways that we never could before. We can all be BJ Palmer Juniors, and I hope that you will join us. Dick, I hope that we got the message out, and thank you so much, Dick, for inviting me.
Great. Thank you very much, Foster. That was a great presentation, a great rundown on how an office-based, hospital-based or office-based practitioner can very easily integrate this into your practice. I just want to say a few kind of nuts and bolts things about how you can make money in this, because, you know, literally, if you're going to go to the effort of integrating this into your practice, you might as well understand how significant that income can be. And really, I'm just going to go over, I'm not going to get into, you know, the network marketing part of it, but you will have patients who will approach you eventually and ask if they can get involved. But let's just talk about adding it as a supplement that you promote in your office, because I think many of you already do that. Unlike MDs who rarely promote supplements, I think you guys are a little bit more intelligent than that and have been recommending supplements for years. I actually have a master's degree in preventive medicine with a minor in nutrition, so I understand what that's all about. But simply, I'm just going to go through an example of how you might incorporate this into your practice. And you can buy this in a 14-case lot. That's the least expensive way to do that in Washington State anyway, and things depend a little bit on shipping and local tax and that sort of thing. But you can get the cost of this down to $91 a case, essentially $90 a case, 4 bottles. And the dosage that we recommend for people in beginning, especially if they're in the over 50-year-old range, is 8 ounces a day. And that's the dose that Nancy and I have been taking for over 6 years and have had incredible experiences with, and the same dose that Foster is taking. But if you get a patient started on 8 ounces of ASEA a day, that's going to be 2 cases of ASEA a month. And your profit on that, if you're retailing that out of your office, is going to be $80 a case. So you have just added an $80 increase in revenue from each of your patients that you start on ASEA. And it's a residual income, because what you're going to ask them to do is to give this a minimum of a 3-month trial period, because oftentimes it takes a little bit, you know, not all of us get better in a week or two, Sometimes it takes longer than that. But if people are tracking their results, the vast majority of people are going to notice some positive improvements in their health within that 90 days. And then most of the time, then they stay on the product for long term. But just in that 90 days, you will have, made $80 times 3, which is pretty substantial, almost $250 extra from that patient. And if they continue that for a year or two, I think you can start to understand really the power of creating a residual income from your patient base that now is just a one-time, somebody comes in, has an office visit. You don't get to charge for that visit over and over again. Just like in the ER, if I sew somebody's laceration up, I can charge for it once, but there's no residual income involved there. And quite frankly, with the insurance companies the way they are, I'm lucky to get paid once. But in any case, you can create a very substantial residual income from your patient base by helping them to get much healthier. I've had an occasional practitioner says, but yes, if it works out well and they all get healthy, will they come back? They will certainly come back because they're going to be very thankful that you've been able to help them to regain their health and to continue to age more slowly, more gracefully, and just to have vastly improved health. And certainly the women and a substantial number of the men are going to also appreciate looking better, looking younger, and really getting the benefits of the anti-aging effect. So I'm going to pass this off to Joe Porecco, who is a new ASEA rep, an associate in our group, who is just enjoying the heck out of this. I can remember my first phone call with Joe trying to explain Redox, and I didn't have to explain the whole business plan model because he's quite familiar with that. But I just love talking to health professionals, whether they're MDs or chiropractors or naturopaths or anything, because once they get it, it's almost like I can see the light bulb go off in their eyes, and it's like, wow, if this really does what you say it does, this is phenomenal. And I'm here to tell you that it absolutely does. And so, Joe, if you could kind of share how it's been for you in in this first 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, I think your chiropractic colleagues would appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And when I was, I first came across this 6 or 7 years ago, I looked at it and I said, it's salt water. I said, what could this possibly be? It's salt water. And I kind of ignored it. But then my friend Yani, Feliciano, introduced me to it. And because I know Yani and respect Yani and like Yani, I said, well, I'm going to have to look into this. So I started looking into, Google Scholar and PubMed.gov. And then I got this gigantic book here, Redox Life. It's a 510-page college textbook, like treatise on redox signaling molecules. So the science behind it is very, very solid. And I'm sure the other chiropractors on here with me that have been in practice for any length of time, like I've been in practice 33 years, we know that when we first started, patients got better quicker and easier. But now, because of the fact that there's so many toxins on this planet, there's the deficiency of nutrients in our food supply, there's a lot of obesity going on, and stress, chronic stress, that patients just don't get well as quickly as they did. And I thought, well, the missing piece is nutrition, and that is part of the piece. But this goes beyond nutrition now. The redox signaling molecules, your nutrition can't work unless you have these signaling molecules allowing your cells to talk between themselves and even intracellularly, allowing things to happen. So this is definitely the next evolution for me in my healthcare practice, and it's the absolute missing link that I've been missing for years. So, and I love the simplicity, and this is the last thing I'll say is, when we get people on nutrition, like the nutrition I use in my practice, you have to coach them through cleanse days, and you have to coach them through how to do this, how to do the shakes and this type of thing. with ASEA redox signaling molecules, you tell them to drink the water in the morning and drink the water in the evening on an empty stomach, and that's as simple, I mean, as it can get. And the results are phenomenal. Just real quickly, I had a lady in today and said, you know, I would have never gotten through the holidays because she was under a lot of stress if it hadn't been for ASEA. She had a great energy increase with ASEA. And then actually my brother-in-law, he has a condition. I don't want to be non-compliant here, but let's say it's a problem with his basal ganglia and it results in movement disorders. He had a hard time getting out of a chair and walking. He had to, you know, his gait was changed. He had to walk with a cane. He started using ASEA after a couple of weeks. He jumps up out of the chair now. He walks without a cane. It's amazing. So, and I've had my own personal things that have happened to me too, as far as improvements in health. So it's easy for a patient to follow. It's the science behind it is solid. It gets results, and you know, I think for what it does, it's very affordable. So, I mean, I think every chiropractor should be using this. Every chiropractor deserves to know about this, about ASEA, about this product. So that's all I wanted to say, Dick, and I'll mute out here.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. I think Yani is on. Yani, if you want to just say a few words about how easy it's been to integrate this into your practice and a few things. We got a minute or two here, and then I'll close it up. And but I'd love to hear a few minutes from you, your perspective.
Okay. Well, I am thrilled to be using it in my office with my patients. I can't keep the stuff in stock. Most of them are wanting to become preferred customers, but a lot of them just want to keep buying it from me. They don't want to deal with anything, so they just want to buy it from me. I've had a ton of different people with skin conditions that have been amazing. My husband is an athlete. He's a cyclist, and he's been just, you know, going crazy with the stuff. So all his cyclist friends are enjoying it. It's pretty easy to deal with. What I do is I use it in my office when people are having any kind of pain. I give them their adjustments. I put the gel on them. I put it on 3 times within 5 minutes, and they just want to use it. I get them a little bit of information on it, and that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I personally use it. I have everyone in my family using it, but my patients have really, you know, loved it.
Great. Would you say that that your patients appreciate the fact that you've you know, turned them on to this?
Absolutely. I feel that we do a lot of good in the office with our work, our chiropractic work, but anything that we have that's additional that we can do to help them. I always talk about the triad: the mind, the body, and the biochemistry. This just fits right in there with the biochemistry. I mean, we do a lot of nutrition and stuff. This is just something that is not like anything else we've had that turns on all the other vitamins and antioxidants that we have them on. So I think it's been great, and they appreciate it. They thank me. They tell me about all of their friends. The referrals are up. It's been pretty amazing.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, let's wrap this up. You know, I think that ASEA is the missing piece. You know, we have so many people who have been doing all kinds of things to benefit their health: exercise, you know, weight control, you know, drinking plenty of water, doing all the right things, and yet they still don't get the results that we're looking for. And yet adding in this saltwater-based amazing new technology from ASEA oftentimes turns out to be the missing link. It is what enables the body to do what it's capable of doing, and that is to fix and repair at the cellular level. So whether it's innate intelligence or just simply biochemistry, whatever it is, the body does demand having enough of these molecules in order to stay healthy, to be vibrant, to allow your health to be as good as it absolutely can. And yes, we we add a lot from the field of chiropractic. As a physician, we can do a lot, but we cannot heal people. People have to heal themselves. All we can do is to enable that process to happen at a much more efficient level. And certainly from a business standpoint, ASEA really makes sense as well. And so I would urge those of you who are looking at this for the first time or are considering adding this to your personal health regime or adding it into your practice, that you get back to the person who invited you to take a look at this webinar, get any other questions asked and answered, and then get involved. It's very simple, very easy. And I think that not only will your patients appreciate it, but your body will appreciate it if you start drinking these molecules and putting it on your skin. So thanks for attending. Hopefully you've learned something valuable here. And thanks all of you panel members. If you have any last few things that you want to say, great. Otherwise, I think we'll stop the recording and we'll open it up to see if anybody has any quick questions. And those of you who are back east, if you want to call it an evening, I know it's quite late. We can handle the questions out here on the West Coast if you want to do it that way. So thanks everybody. Hopefully you've learned something, and this will help you and your patients.
I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Walker and Dr. Malmed for putting this on, and also Jerry too.